Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kia Simone, and we got to get into last week's episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And let me just, I need to get it off my chest. It took everything in me to come down here and review this show because they are on my last damn nerve. But let's just get into it. Before we do, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. Of course, I got to shout out my super thanks, starting with Yvette Greer. Yvette, we love you. I appreciate you. And shout out to everybody who showed Yvette so much love and support in the comments. I love y'all. We are truly a family. We a squad. I'm so proud of y'all. Shout out to Tech Mama, Delecia Dismuke, Shay B, Stephanie Togbo, Lisa Denise, and on Cash App, shout out to Dina with the dollars. Oh yeah, Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and Happy Kwanzaa, Feliz Navidad, all that. Almost Happy New Year. Let's get through this because I got to get back to my Olympic cleaning that we do as Black people. So last week's episode opens up in the middle of them doing this trust exercise that they're doing with the whole group. So they're pairing up people who have issues with each other to have them do a trust fall. Just Mel and raised absolute hell the last two episodes about don't put me with Martel, don't put me with Martel. What did they do? Put her with Martel. She's supposed to fall back and let Martel catch her. Well, that ain't happened when they were married, so I'll be damned if it's gonna happen now. Mel said she trusts the floor more than she trusts him, so she just dropped and hit the floor. I'll let the damn ground catch me. When it's Martel's turn to do the fall and Mel has to catch him, Mel took a step back. You could hit the damn floor. I don't give a damn. Martel said in the confessional that it's typical of Mel to not want to catch him, but it's only because of who they're in front of. He said that he really thinks the issue is that she doesn't want to be perceived as weak by the group. So essentially he's saying that she's playing for these people and these cameras. Martel make it sound like they be playing at each other's faces and other places when we ain't around. So next we see Tisha and Stormy. They're doing their trust fall. But just as Stormy is catching Tisha, here comes Keke ambushing the whole trip by hola, hola, how about adios? So now when Kiki comes in, of course, Tisha is shocked, Nell is nervous, and Nell starts explaining why the hell Kiki is here, while Kiki going around kissing and hugging people like they actually happy to see her. Nell starts explaining to the group that I want y'all to understand why I invited Kiki. That Kiki reached out to me because she said she had talked to Mel and Mel told her to call me. Nell said I had to make a decision about inviting her on the trip. I am willing to give you the chance to be here, be among the group, try to move forward because that's what the group is supposed to do. So Nell turns to Kiki and says, do you have anything you'd like to say to the group? Kiki said, oh, I'll take the mic. I'll take the mic. How about you take a hike? Get the hell on. So Kiki takes the floor and the opportunity to address the group, and she wants to apologize to the group as a whole for causing a disturbance at Kimmy and Maurice's cookout. Are you gonna apologize for being a disturbance today? She starts to address them individually, and she addresses Kimmy and Maurice for disrespecting their home and for robbing Kimmy of her moment. And then she turns to Tisha and apologizes to Tisha for throwing the drink on her and violating her personal space because she was wrong for that. I said, now this got N.A. written all over it. I think you at the wrong meeting and you don't know it. Chris asked Kimmy and Maurice, do they accept Kiki's apology? Maurice said, well, for me, yeah, I accept the apology, but I do feel like it's a little bit late. Kimmy said, yeah, this should have happened about a month ago, like actually in the moment when you was tearing my shit up. Kiki starts explaining that, you know, I had to deal with the fact that you had just overcome something as major as cancer, and I interrupted that moment, and I had to deal with that. Now, I couldn't face you, but you can now. Kimmy said, yeah, well, even with all that, I think a month is a little ways down the road. You can save this bush. So Nell turns to Tisha and said, well, Tisha, do you accept Kiki's apology? I said, now, if this ain't some on-the-spot reverse psychology playing in your face bullshit. Tisha said, sure. And Nell had the nerve to start tearing up about, well, this is what I have to say. This was very hard for me. Tisha walked clean the hell out because I know you won't. If it's going to be anybody crying in this month, it's going to be me. Y'all ambushed Tisha with her cousin who threw a drink in her face in front of all you motherfuckers, and you going to stand here and cry like somebody did something to you? So now she's the center of concern, and I didn't want to mess the trip up for anyone, and I didn't want to make anyone uncomfortable, and I didn't want anybody to pack up and leave, and everybody is, oh, Nell, don't cry. Don't cry. Don't start. As everybody is trying to console Nell, Marcel goes to check on his wife, and he asks her, is she okay and is she upset? She said, well, yeah, I am upset because I feel played. She said, at the end of the day, Nell and Mel talked to this girl and they knew that she was coming here and nobody said anything to me. They just blindsided me. So Chris goes in the kitchen to check on Marcel and Tisha, and Marcel is explaining that, yeah, she's okay, but there's a conversation that needs to be had between Tisha and Nell because she feels like Nell blindsided her. So they cut back to the conversation amongst the group in this common area, living room, wherever they at. And Mel is talking about, well, I felt like everybody was being receptive when she was talking just now. I don't know where they went to. Ma'am, you stand back. Mel is always stirring the pot and swearing she ain't got a spoon. All you want to see is Tisha get into it with somebody, anybody that'll tell her damn business and make her look as bad as I want her to. That's all you want. Chris answers, well, yeah, Tisha's okay, but she needs a moment to gather herself. Nell said, well, you know what? I'm going to go check on her. I'm going to go talk to her, yeah, because this your mess. Nell goes in the kitchen to Marcel and Tisha, and now she damn near on the edge of her eye. Do y'all want her here? Because I told her this may not go the way she wanted to go, and I really didn't agree to none of this. I said it to her before I knew what I said. I know she said she had spoken with Mel. Fletcher was totally against it. Me and Fletcher have been arguing about it. It's a big old damn mess. And I mean, if y'all want to go on, I make a leave. Marcel said what I think it comes down to is y'all don't really understand the relationship. Tisha said, but Mel understands the relationship. And Mel was somewhere in this 6 degrees of this girl being invited to this trip. So I feel blindsided and betrayed. Tisha said, now when it comes to you, you're new. So I get it that you may not have known. But at the very least, what I would have expected from you is a phone call to say, hey, I talked to your cousin and she wants to come on this trip. Nell said, well, I get it. I understand. I can't even argue with you because it's actually been weighing on my heart since I got the phone call. Tisha said, okay, well, if it was heavy enough, if you were aware enough for it to be weighing on your heart since you got the phone call, why wouldn't you call me? Nell said, well, truthfully, I ain't got no answer. I mean, I wanted to talk to you about it, but honestly, I was just hoping she wouldn't show up. What? She said, but Tisha, I apologize. I've made my decision. She is not staying. Nell explains in the confessional that the reason she invited Kiki against her better judgment is because she has a soft spot for Kiki. She said, but unfortunately, Chris was right. She should have talked to Tisha before she invited Kiki on this damn trip. So they all rejoin the group and Nell starts explaining that she just had this private conversation with Marcel and Tisha and that they expressed that her inviting Kiki without discussing it with them was a slap in their face. She says, so Kiki, you're not going to be able to stay here. Kiki said, well, that's fine. I wasn't going to stay in the house anyway. What is this? Stormy's evil ass pipes up. Well, that's fine. She's staying with us. Somebody please help me understand. How do these side characters that barely have storylines come in trying to run everything? Like, what does production do? And then Kiki goes on to say, I'm really not going to let anyone dictate where I can and cannot go, especially them. Do you realize you're a stalker? Do you realize you are unwanted in the space that you're in? Has no one ever in your upbringing had the conversation of not staying anywhere that you're not welcome? This is like a crazed family member that shows up on your job and refuses to leave because they got the right to be there because they related to you. This is some nutty shit. Nell says, see, that's exactly what I didn't want. Now it seems like that energy is here. We're now divided as a group and we can't move forward like this. Mel said, well, hold on, Nell. You said you talked to Tisha. Did Tisha actually tell you it was a no? Nell said, pretty much. Why is that far-fetched? You had her whole mama removed from the show for an attempt at assault amidst an entire brawl. But this woman throws a drink unprovoked on her cousin, and nobody can put 2 and 2 together about why Tisha's bothered. Y'all can sit around and play dumb, but you're going to have to play somewhere other than my face. So while Mel is playing obtuse, Marcel said, Mel, do you remember when you were having certain issues and didn't want certain people around? Mel said, oh, I'm not saying y'all are wrong at all. I'm just asking. I just want to know what the conversation was. Marcel said, I'm going to tell you this. I feel like as a friend, this is a violation. Mel said, what's a violation? Marcel said, if you knew about Kiki coming here and you didn't say anything, That's a violation. She said, I didn't know anything about Kiki coming here. Girl, just. So Marcel is trying to make Mel understand their standpoint. And he said, you know how we'll be talking about your situation and I'll be telling you, well, I didn't see all that. I don't know about all that. I didn't hear all that. All I know is the one side that I got. She said, yes, I know. He said, exactly. This is the same kind of dynamic where you are only getting the one side of the story and all you know is what you think you know. Martel saw his damn opportunity. He said, Marcel, you ain't talking about me. You talking about me? You talking about me? What you talking about? He walked up on Marcel. Marcel said, why the hell you so damn close to me? He said, no, tell me what you talking about. What is it that was said about me that wasn't said about her? Tell me. Marcel see the play, but he ain't trying to deal with that shit right now. I got enough problems on my hands, player. He said, listen, only two of us know. You can go get it straight out the Rogers mouth over there. Leave me alone. Now, in the midst of Martel trying to get this started, Nell goes off to reiterate to Kiki, you do know you got to go, right? She said, listen, I'm trying to build a relationship with your cousin, and personally, I don't have an issue with you, but I do have to respect the issue that she has with you. So you gotta go. Meanwhile, Martel is spiraling. He's going off to the group about how he hate that Rogers shit. I'm sick of that with all y'all. What? Well, Marcel might not be for the shits, but teacher said I got something for that ass. Hey, Marcel, did you ask Mel what she did? I mean, you asked Martel. Why didn't you ask Mel? Marcel said I ain't trying to get into that shit. I'm not trying to be in the middle of this bullshit that they got going on. Tisha said, but you asked him. He said, no, I didn't. Shut your ass up. Meanwhile, Martel and Nell are losing their natural minds. Martel is letting Nell know he don't appreciate that she be talking about him and pointing fingers at him and dragging his name for being a cheater. Cause Chris be telling me the stuff you be saying about me. Nell said, what did Chris tell you? Cause what in the pillow talking hell is you talking about? Well, Martel caught that and cleared it up real quick. Well, even you told me. She said, I told you what? He said the questions that y'all asked, you never asked, what did Mel do? Did Mel cheat on Martel? It's always about, what did Martel do wrong? Martel is a cheater. The fingers are always pointed at me. You never ask Mel what she's done. Nell is screaming, I did ask her. She said, you telling a damn lie. You want somebody to take sides. Martel said, no, I don't want nobody to take sides, but don't be against me. Nell said, but I'm not against you. He said, but you are against me when you're only asking, what did Martel do? And you don't even give a second thought to the idea that maybe Mel did something too. Nell screamed, hold yourself accountable for your shit. Martel said, I have. It's been 3 years. I'm good with it. I'm okay. I've apologized. Nell said, well, for some people, it takes longer than 3 years. Martel said, I'm not talking about Melody. I'm not blaming Melody for anything. I'm talking about Chris. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about Marcel. She said, well, hold them accountable because I told you I'm a woman first. They are screaming at the top of their lungs at each other. Nell goes stomping off by, see, I'ma just walk off because I'ma be done knock Martel straight upside his damn head. Now all the ladies are gathered around Nell. They're trying to get her calm. Mel is asking, well, why are you upset? What happened with you? Tisha is all too happy to let her know. Well, Martel is upset because he said the fingers always pointed at him. He's always getting blamed, but Mel has never admitted to any wrongdoing of any kind. So Mel said, because I ain't got shit to be wrong in. Nell said he's mad because he said, I won't hold you accountable for cheating just like he did. Mel, did you cheat on him too? Now Mel looking confused. Now you don't want to be in the conversation, do you? Mel said the only time I talked to someone was when I wasn't with Martel no more, and I never went back. Mel said, now I done asked the lady on camera if she ever cheated on you. She just answered the question, are you satisfied? Martel said, I don't care about these cameras. I'm not talking about the cameras. I'm talking about all this time when you've been coming down on me and hurting me. I said, where is the orchestra? Could y'all find the violin? Nell said, you hurt by the stuff I said? He said, yeah, all the stuff you've thrown in my face. She said, you are a typical damn narcissist. Martel said, yeah, I made a mistake in my marriage. I did. I cheated, but I cheated and she cheated. Mel said, hold on now. Wait a damn minute. Now they want to play this Matlock game about this damn cheating that's past the statute of limitations. We don't give a damn. I don't give a damn who cheated first. I don't give a damn who cheated last. I don't give a damn who cheated best. The only people who were truly cheated are the children. I don't give a damn. Leave us alone with with this bullshit. Mel said, my first question is, tell me when, where, and with who I cheated. Martel said, at the apartment. Mel said, okay, well, let's talk about the apartment. What happened was in March of 2017 is when I found out that he had been cheating on me for at least 2 years with his other baby mama. In October of 2017, we went to our college homecoming and I caught him in the truck with his other baby mama. So in December of 2017, I moved out into my own apartment. We got back together about April of 2018. Boom, that's the story. Well, Martel counters her argument with what their marriage was like before he cheated. He said, let's talk about before Martel cheated. Because before Martel cheated, Melody used to take weekends at the hotel where she would say, I'm going to go get me a room and get away from the kids for a few days. He said, I was cool with it. I said, all right, go. But that's when everything started changing. He said she started taking these solo weekends at the hotel. Next thing you know, the sex is different. She acting different. So when the sex started changing, I started complaining. He said, I complained for about a year before I stepped out. I mean, as a man, what else can you do? You could go to a divorce attorney if it's that bad. If it's not bad enough, you could go to a couples counselor of some kind. You could go talk to your mama, your daddy, your somebody that got a marriage that could help you get over this hump. You have a lot of options other than just go cheat. Stormy said, but the bottom line is you did cheat first. Martel said, no, just because you don't find something out, just because I don't have concrete evidence doesn't mean it wasn't happening. I don't know what in Alice in Wonderland you want us to do. You essentially are telling us you have a bunch of circumstantial evidence that you want us to piece together and tell her she's guilty. Now, I truly believe that they both stepped out on their marriage at some point for whatever their reasons were. But all this bunch of conspiracy theory and circumstantial evidence and help me put the story together and connect the dots because I know you know what I know. We don't have time. Mel said, so essentially what he's saying, because he's saying he has no evidence and he's saying he never caught me doing anything, is he's assuming that I stepped out on the marriage. She said, this was something I used to do for my me time, and it's something that we agreed on, that I just needed time to get away from being a business person, a wife, a mother, everything that I was to him and our children. And now he's turning it around like I was out thotting and bopping. Martel said, well, the point is changed behavior. She said, yeah, you're right, my behavior changed because you were an asshole and you still an asshole. Nell said, well, Mel has never asked me to pick sides. You have. Martel said, yeah, if she's sitting up here digging a grave for me, yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all to pick sides. If you gonna be coming to my house and smiling in my face and being my friend, yeah, I'm gonna ask you to pick sides. He said she's doing shit behind my back, y'all back. She trying to send me to jail. Hell yeah, you gonna have to pick a side. At this point, Martel is damn near beside himself, and you can see Nell just looking like maybe he believed the shit he's saying. Tisha spoke up in Martel's defense. She said, well, in his defense, Martel has never asked us to pick a side. What he has said is right is right and wrong is wrong. Martel is screaming, that's all. That's all I ask for. When I'm wrong, I'm gonna ask you to support my wrong. Stormy said, but she just said she didn't cheat. Martel said she did cheat. We were still married when she moved into that apartment. She just told you she cheated. Now Stormy looking like, well, damn, he got a point. She said, but y'all weren't together. Martel said, but that doesn't matter. We were married. Well, did you think that when you were cheating? Stormy said, you shouldn't have cheated. Martel said, of course I shouldn't have. Stormy said, and that's the bottom line. The rest of it really don't matter. Martel said, but the rules everybody says to play by is no matter what, you shouldn't cheat. And according to me and her, she cheated. Stormy said, but it don't matter because you cheated first. Kimmy steps in to be the voice of reason. Kimmy says, so Stormy, what you're saying is once one spouse steps out, everything after that is fair game. Stormy said, well, yeah, if you feel like it's done, yeah. Now, Stormy husband standing over her, side-eyeing the shit out of her. Stormy said, what I heard her say is she moved out because she thought the relationship was done. Martel said, no, we never discussed divorce or anything. Mel yells from the kitchen, man, I had talked to 5 divorce attorneys at that point. What you think, I just moved out for fun? So Mel is in the confessional explaining that when she moved out, she met with several attorneys discussing her options and what divorce would look like. You know, I went on a few dates, but I know for a fact that Martel gets excited when he thinks I'm not doing well because he thinks that means I'm gonna come back, but no, I'm not coming back. I said, now maybe I fell asleep on the ride and missed the exit, but how did we get from whether you did or did not cheat to Martel wants you to do bad because he wants you to come back. So the next thing you know, out of nowhere, Marceau said, well, Mel has been evil to us, so I picked Martel's side. Mel said, I've been evil? What do you mean? Me to y'all? I know you motherfucking lying. What was I doing that was evil to you? I wasn't checking for y'all. Marceau said, Mel, just please. She said, I'm serious. I have not been, what have I done? I've been checking for y'all since me and that joker ain't been together. Didn't you and Tisha mama damn near come to blows? Didn't you try to bring some lady who you said was Marceau's side piece on the show? Wasn't that you? Like, what are you talking about? So now Mel is making Martel responsible for the dirt that she did to Marceau and Tisha. She said, I haven't been checking for y'all since me and him haven't been together. As a matter of fact, he used to do to me the same thing that he does to other people that he's doing right now. Put a battery in people's backs. So Martel was the battery in your back for all the dirt you've done. But you and Martel were on the outs half the time you've been doing this dirt. Mel is absolutely foolish. Her problem is she has isolated herself from everyone on this show. Every single person on this show she has either had beef with, they jealous of her, they've been trying to do her dirty, they've been talking about her, and she has no allies. So now, if Martel is over there not only trying to tarnish her character, but is also collecting all the friends in the group like Pokemon cards, while she's standing over there in the corner by herself, her days are numbered. Ain't but a matter of time before this whole operation comes to a halt. And then she starts trying to defend the whole inviting Kiki bullshit. I didn't even know she had talked to Nell. Marceau said that's another thing. That came across as a straight betrayal. Mel, no, I didn't know anything about, I would never betray her. I'm glad you told me that Tisha was feeling like that, because I'm going to go have a private conversation with her. I said, not you give a damn about Tisha feelings. Mel said in the confessional that it was imperative that she have this conversation with Tisha and make it very clear that she had no knowledge of Kiki coming. She had nothing to do with that. Of course, production showed otherwise. They showed a clip of Kiki at Mel's house and Mel's kitchen having a conversation where Mel is informing Kiki of this upcoming trip. Kiki is telling her, well, I would like to go. I'm interested in that. And Mel is telling Kiki, well, Nell is the host. Maybe you can reach out to her, tell her you're interested in coming, and go from there. Mel said in the confessional that I could see that Marceau and Tisha were very bothered by Kiki being there. I didn't know if they had made up or if they were still on the outs. I didn't know what was going on. You a damn lie. Every single time we've seen Mel and Tisha in a scene together, Mel has attempted to have a conversation with Tisha about Kiki, and Tisha has outright refused. Tisha has let it be known, I'm not interested in talking to or about Kiki. Don't bring her up to me and don't bring her around me. Now, all of a sudden, you're just, I didn't know. What's the issue? I didn't know if they were still having issues. She said, yeah, so I didn't know if they had made up or not made up, but I didn't want Tisha and Marcel feeling like, oh, Melody is trying to start mess. Oh, so you didn't want them to feel like what's really going on? Now, over on the other side, Stormy and Martel are still going at it. Stormy is telling Martel, now, no, I don't feel like you should be condemned forever. However, what I do feel like you're doing is you're trying to justify your mistake by saying she did X, Y, and Z. And it's just not justifiable. For once, me and Stormy agree. Martel said, I don't hear all that. I thought no matter what you do, you ain't supposed to cheat. So essentially, Martel, you want to hold her to a higher standard than you hold yourself to. And the thing is, you want to have the lesser standard for yourself, but still be respected as the head of the family. How can you be the head? How can you be trusted to lead? How can you be respected as the head and the lead of the family when you can't hold yourself to the standard you set for the family? Here's the problem. You want to be the head, you want to be the lead, you want to be the king, but heavy is the head that wears the crown. You don't get to be the king, you don't get to carry the crown without carrying the accountability. You don't get to say, I can move how I want to move, but y'all need to be disciplined. You don't get to lead from a place of do as I say, not as I do. You have to lead by example. You lack the discipline needed to lead your family, but then sit up here on this moral high ground about nobody should have cheated. What are you? Just You have to carry the weight of the the scarlet letter for the things you chose to do by yourself. You don't get to distribute the weight over to her. You don't get to say, well, I had reasons for doing the things I did, because guess what? You had options. Just like you had reasons, you had options. You could have said, you know what? This ain't working for me no more. I love you. I love this family we created, but I see this getting ready to go real left, so I'm going to have to make it right. I'm going to have to go on and go about my business, and I'm going to let you go about yours, and we're going to have to do something different because this ain't working. If she truly has done wrong by her marriage, she's going to have to answer for that, even if it's not in the court of public opinion. Even if she has the entire public fooled, you cannot fool God, and you cannot escape karma. So if she needs to be held accountable, it will happen. We need you to let it go. And what you fail to realize is the sooner you let it go, the sooner that scarlet letter will start to fade. But you are keeping the mother alive. Martel said, all right, I know how to make y'all understand what I'm saying. Nell, did you cheat on Fletcher after he cheated on you? Nell said, no, sir, I did not. Martel said, why not? She said, because I was waiting on him. She looked so damn proud of herself. Martel said, all right, and how long were y'all separated? How long did it take y'all to get back together? She said 18 to 24 months. Martel said, and you didn't sleep with nobody. But for her, it was only weeks. Nell said, well, everybody's circumstances are different. Martel said, be quiet, it ain't no different. Kimmy said in the confessional, somehow we always end up back at the same place of what came first, the chicken or the egg, and that's exactly what the hell it feels like. She said at this point, everybody has to take accountability for their contribution to how it all fell apart. So while they still over to the side screaming, Mel pulls Tisha aside and she said, you know, I wanted to talk to you because I was just telling Marcel that I didn't know Keke was coming. Tisha said, oh, okay. Mel says, you know, even if you had said to me, I'm good, but I don't want her anywhere around me, I would have never said, you know, maybe you should call Miss Nell, which was 2 weeks ago, because I haven't really talked to her in like 2 weeks. This is some bullshit. Mel said, I didn't know she was going to be here at all. So I didn't want you to think that. Tisha said, well, thank you for that. Because when I talked to Nell, and Nell said that Keke told her she had talked to Mel, and Mel is who told her to call Nell, that bothered me. I felt a little betrayed. Tisha said, you know more about me and Kiki's history than Nell does. So that's why I really felt like it would have been a slap in the face from you if you knew she was coming and you didn't say anything. So Tisha accepts Mel's explanation. She said, look at us growing. You can see Keke off to the side looking like this ain't how this bullshit was supposed to go. I think Keke really thought she had an ally in Mel. She really thought they were going to be this dynamic duo. And I don't think you realize Mel is trying to save herself right now. Well, they all start to return to civilization. They start to calm down and act like they got some damn sense. Chris said, well, while y'all done finally calmed down, could you go put some damn clothes on and let's go? I done booked us some horseback riding. Y'all done up the morning. I hope you don't fuck up the afternoon. Keke ignorant ass around. They like, yeah, that's how you bring it back together. If you don't take your ass home. Chris is in the confessional saying, I don't think Keke gets it. She's here to apologize, but it's not really being received, and she does not seem to get it. No, she get it. She just don't give a damn. So the group gets to the horseback riding place, and Tisha said Keke is just hanging around like a ghost because don't nobody want her here. She said, but I'm going to try to ignore her like I did before, and hopefully she don't pull that little trick that she did before. So the ranch owners are introducing themselves, and first of all, this is a Black woman owned and operated ranch, and one of the Black women who owns and operates this place is a couples therapist. Ma'am, could you please help these people? They use the horses and all their good sense to try to bring some healing to people. So everybody mounts up on a horse to go on this therapeutic horseback ride except Kimmy. Kimmy said, I'm nervous. The horse might be nervous. I ain't got time. I ain't getting on them. Come talk to me over here. So while the group is out on the horses, Kimmy is off talking to the counselor. And she's kind of briefing her on the background of the group. And the counselor is trying to figure out if this is going to be a waste of my damn time. Do you think it'll be constructive to actually work with y'all? Kimmy said, well, I'm always open, but the group, you know, I don't know what to tell you. So after the group rides the horses, they eat and then they gather for their counseling session. And the therapist starts out by asking them how they're doing. And of course, everybody gives the standard, oh, we're great. She said, oh, really? That's interesting because I detect a lot of tension in this group. So somebody go ahead. Y'all put it out there. Just put it on the table. Tell me what's going on. Nell said, well, I'll start. What had happened was Kiki had called me the other day and asked me about coming on this trip, and it really took a lot out of me to agree to let her come on this trip because she threw a drink in her cousin's face, and her cousin is Tisha, the lady who's sitting right over here. She said when Kiki arrived, we were doing team building activities, but when she got there, all the team building went out of the window. The couple that she has the issue with, I went and talked to personally, and they're not comfortable. So I told her she couldn't stay in the house. So the counselor turns to Kiki and said, okay, well, Kiki, would you like to speak on it? Kiki said, I don't have nothing to say. Now you don't have nothing to say after you have pitched a tent in the middle of these people's vacation and refused to leave. Now you don't have nothing to say. The therapist said, well, my question is this. Did you think that you being here would impact Tisha and her husband? Kiki said, I came and I did what I was supposed to do. I apologized. I gave a sincere apology. If I apologize and I do what I'm supposed to do, I can't control how people take it or what they do after. I mean, we can occupy the same space and not even see each other, and I'm okay with that. So you're okay operating in dysfunction. You're okay disrespecting everyone's boundaries. Stormy speaks up on Kiki's behalf to say, well, I feel like since Kiki has been here today, her energy has been great. And I feel like it gets kind of hard when you do show up correct and people keep throwing the past at you. Just please. Stormy said, rather than ostracizing Kiki because she threw the drink, why not try to move forward? Why not try to fix it? Well, why Wanda ain't on the show if that's the case? She said we need to just move forward and let these two cousins have the conversation that they need to have. Stormy said it just seems like it's a whole lot of Kiki and Kiki and Kiki. You not supposed to be here and you don't belong here. You did this. Well, we know she did this. We know she threw the drink, but how do we move forward from it? Well, here's the thing. There's a precedent that's already been established. They established a precedent on how you move forward with this type of issue with Miss Wanda. So either y'all are going to follow the precedent that has already been set, or you're going to reverse the precedent. Because if this girl gets to actually assault someone, if she is able to get away with that, and then she can hijack this show and tell y'all where she is and ain't gonna go, then Miss Wanda needs to be written back into the script next week. Because you don't get to say that, oh, this person is so wrong and they need to be held accountable and she needs to be kicked off of the show. But then when we have somebody that actually threw a drink who was completely unprovoked, because they're mad, because they want attention and they want this person shine, we're going to have a whole committee meeting about how this isn't her fault. And we need to come together as a group to figure out how we can move forward with her in tow. Not when you done threw somebody else away for less. Marcel saw the play. He see the bullshit, but you can't bullshit like Marcel can bullshit. So here he go. Marcel said, well, like Stormy, I want to leave the door open because of love. I want us to be the best that we can be. But I personally think that the best that we can be is not up to us. Nor is it anything that I take lightly. I'm not saying that I just give up on this, but I have family members that I don't get along with. He said, now I've been able to heal from those things, but using just this fire in front of us as an example. If I take a pot of water and I pour it on this fire, it stops the fire from burning, but it does not bring the wood back. Marcel said there may be the possibility for healing in that relationship, but what I 1000% know is that the possibility does not exist right now, and the time is not even desired right now to attempt healing. Kiki is in the confessional about she feels rejected right now. And you know, it's easy to look at Kiki and say Kiki is the problem, but people don't know the history. They don't know the dynamic of me and Tisha's relationship. They don't know what I've been through with her. And what you don't seem to know is people don't give a damn. Nobody cares. That ain't never been a premise of this show. Nobody was watching this show to find out what Kiki done been through with Tisha. We didn't care when the show started. We didn't care when you showed up, and we won't care henceforth, now, or forevermore. Marcel said, now, we might not be open to healing with her right now, but I can attest that I've seen healing and growth within this group. Earlier today, we had what would have normally been a big blowout drag out of a fight, but instead of Mel saying, I said what I said and it is what it is, We actually had a conversation, and she was able to say, well, no, I didn't know that Kiki was coming. And for me, that changed the intent of everything. Marcel said, we've been working on communicating more in the moment. And Mel piggybacks off what Marcel said. She said, well, what he's talking about in terms of us communicating in the moment is like, for example, today when Kiki showed up, they thought that I knew she was coming or that I had anything to do with her coming, when in reality, I didn't. It was actually Miss Fletcher that invited her, and she didn't even tell me she talked to Kiki yesterday. I said, not riding the bus straight over the lady. Now you can see Nail off to the side blinking her lashes like, I don't know if I should stay still or curse this damn girl out, because you know you sent that girl to me. Now Marcel gave Mel her props. Yeah, she's grown and we were able to have a conversation and all that, but he ain't no damn fool. He addressed his wife real quick. He said, and Tisha and her growth forgave quickly, because you know normally this would have gone on for months. And Tisha spoke up to say that's exactly why they're prioritizing communication, because they don't want to drag these grudges on forever. So the therapist asked the question of how did Tisha and Mel arrive at this place? And Tisha said, well, really, I think we just both got tired. Nell said, what it sounds like to me is y'all had the time that y'all needed to get past the issues that y'all had. And that's what you and Kiki need. Y'all need time, because timing is everything. In the confessional, Marcel compared Tisha and Kiki to Mel and Martel when they first broke up. He said when they initially broke up, we were all trying to get them back together. We were all saying, oh, time will tell. He said the issue was that the relationship that we were trying to put back together was essentially abusive to them. And we were saying that time would tell, but time had already told the story. He said, and I think the same thing applies to Tisha and Kiki. I think time has told the tale, and I think we have to listen to what God has said. Tisha said, and God said, go. Y'all. So the episode came to an end with the therapist concluding the meeting, and she concluded it by leaving them with two pieces of advice, which is one, to cherish this group, because she feels like they are a special dynamic group and they are together for a reason. And the second thing is to work on your own personal healing, because if you can be thrown off kilter every time you walk in a room with somebody else is off kilter, your ass is off kilter. Kiki said in the confessional that she's left with questions about where she stands with certain people in the group simply because they witnessed her throw a drink, which took years of building up to happen. She said, I apologized for what I did, but I'm not sorry I did it. So as usual, your ass just be talking. You just say a bunch of that you don't mean. I can't with her. That's it. That's all. And I ain't got no more. Thank you so much for coming down here, listening to me, and letting me get this off my chest. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. And in the meantime, until next time, just like every time, I love you and I mean it. Bye.